Let us be brutally honest. Most of us are not in control of our lives, our emotions are. We wake up in a good mood and the day feels easy. We wake up anxious or angry and suddenly everything is a struggle. One harsh word from a boss, a fight with a friend, a single piece of bad news and our entire day, sometimes our entire week, is ruined. We tell ourselves we're logical, that we make decisions based on reason. But the truth is, most of our choices are driven by feelings we barely understand. We lash out, we withdraw, we procrastinate, we binge, we sabotage our own progress, all because we let our emotions take the wheel. And then we wonder, why does my life feel out of control? Why do I keep repeating the same mistakes? Why do I feel stuck, even when I know what I should do? If you've ever felt like your emotions are running your life and running it into the ground, you're not alone. But what if I told you that nearly 2,000 years ago, a man named Epictetus had already figured out the cure? A former slave who became one of the greatest philosophers in history, Epictetus taught a way of living that can help you take back control, not by suppressing your emotions, but by mastering them. Before we dive into the art of living, I want you to pause and ask yourself, where in your life do your emotions control you the most? Is it anger? Anxiety? Jealousy? Hold that thought. Because over the next few minutes, you're going to discover a method that doesn't just help you feel better, it helps you become unbreakable. If you're ready to stop being a slave to your emotions and start living with real power, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and comment below. What's the one emotion that destroys your progress the most? Your answer might be the first step toward your own transformation. Let's begin. The myth of just be positive. Modern self-help tells us to think positive, to manifest good vibes, to just let it go. But if you've ever tried to force yourself to be happy when you're angry, or calm when you're anxious, you know it doesn't work. Suppressing emotions only makes them stronger. Ignoring them doesn't make them disappear, it just buries them deeper, where they sabotage you from the shadows. Epictetus saw this clearly. He taught that the problem isn't the emotion itself, it's our reaction to it. He said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. The art of living. The Epictetus method, Epictetus philosophy, known as Stoicism, is not about becoming emotionless. It's about learning to see your emotions for what they are, signals, not commands. Here's how you can start practicing the art of living. Epictetus style. Step 1. Separate what you can. Control from what you can. Epictetus taught that the first step to freedom is understanding what is truly in your power. You can't control other people, the weather, the past, or the future. But you can control your own thoughts, actions, and responses. Every time you feel overwhelmed by emotion, ask yourself, is this within my control? If not, let it go. If yes, focus on what you can do. Step 2. Pause before you react. Most people are slaves to their first impulse. Someone insults them, they snap back. They feel anxious, they run away. But Epictetus taught that between stimulus and response, there is a space, a moment where you can choose. When you feel a strong emotion, pause. Take a breath. Ask yourself, what would my best self do right now? This tiny pause is where your power lives. Step 3. Reframe the story. Emotions are fueled by the stories we tell ourselves. If you fail, you might tell yourself, I'm a loser. If someone rejects you, you might think, I'm not good enough. But Epictetus taught that you can choose your story. Instead of, I failed, so I'm worthless, try, I failed, so I'm learning. Instead of, they hurt me, so I'm a victim, try, they hurt me, but I choose how I respond. Contrast framing, the old way versus the Stoic way. Most people let emotions dictate their actions. They ride the roller coaster up and down, never in control. The Stoic way is different. It's about stepping off the ride, watching your emotions without being ruled by them. Step 4. Practice voluntary discomfort. Epictetus believed that comfort makes us weak. He recommended practicing small acts of discomfort, taking cold showers, fasting, waking up early, not to suffer, but to train your mind to handle life's challenges. When you choose discomfort, you teach your brain that you can survive hard things. You become less reactive, more resilient. Transition. From emotional slave to stoic master. You might be thinking, but my emotions are so strong. I can't just turn them off. That's true. But you don't have to turn them off, you just have to stop letting them drive. Let's see how this works in real life. Let me tell you a story, not about a philosopher, but about someone like you. Let's call him Alex. Alex was 30, smart, ambitious, but always sabotaged by his emotions. He'd get angry at work, say things he regretted, and then feel guilty for days. He'd get anxious before big projects, procrastinate, and then beat himself up for being lazy. He knew what he should do, but his feelings always got in the way. One day, Alex stumbled on the teachings of Epictetus. He decided to try something different. Day 1. Alex wrote down every time he felt a strong emotion. He didn't judge himself, he just noticed. Day 3. He started asking, "Is this in my control?" When his boss criticized him, he felt anger rising. But instead of snapping, he paused, took a breath, and asked, "What can I learn from this?" Day 7. He practiced reframing. When he failed at a task, instead of calling himself a failure, he told himself, "This is a lesson." Day 14. He tried voluntary discomfort, taking cold showers, skipping dessert, waking up early. He noticed that the more he chose discomfort, the less afraid he was of his own feelings. Day 21. He still had bad days. He still felt anger, anxiety, sadness. But now, instead of being controlled by them, he watched them come and go like clouds passing in the sky. Day 30. Alex wasn't a stoic sage, but he was no longer a slave to his emotions. He was learning the art of living, setback and recovery. Of course, Alex still slipped up. He still lost his temper, still procrastinated sometimes. But now, instead of spiraling, he paused, reflected, and got back on track. Identity shift. After 30 days, Alex didn't just have new habits. He had a new relationship with his emotions. He was no longer afraid of them. He was in charge. Final reflection and call to action. So, are your emotions destroying your life? Are you tired of being a passenger, tossed around by every feeling? The art of living, according to Epictetus, isn't about being emotionless. It's about being the master, not the slave. For the next 30 days, practice separating what you can control, pausing before you react, reframing your stories, and choosing discomfort. If this video gave you a new perspective, subscribe and join our community of people who refuse to be ruled by their emotions. Comment below. What's the one emotion you'll start mastering today? Your story might inspire someone else to take back control. Thank you for watching. Remember, you are not your emotions. You are the master of your mind.